Coming up on Hashtag That, a look at the tastiest week in New Haven as Restaurant Week arrives.
Plus, we'll find out how much our LA reporters know about American history on Election Day.
From Hamden to Hollywood, we're your source for entertainment news.
From Hamden to Hollywood, we are your source for entertainment news.
Good evening and welcome to Hashtag That. My name is John Welsh.
And I'm Jensen Kappa.
Well, if you've been wanting to check out a new spot for dinner on Elm Street, now's your chance. New Haven Restaurant Week is here, and Hashtag That took to downtown to check out all the hot spots. Take a look.
Restaurant Week has two separate deals. For lunch, it's $17.10 for 2 courses, and for dinner, it's 3 courses for $34.10. So pretty much you can come in and choose for lunch an appetizer and an entree off our menu, or you can choose an entree and a dessert off our menu, and then for dinner you get all 3 options for $34.10.
So we're Geronimo Tequila Bar and Southwest Grill, 271 Crown Street in New Haven. We have the largest selection of tequila on the East Coast. We have over 450 different kinds of tequila. We do a lot of Santa Fe and Native American inspired food from the Santa Fe region.
Here at Olives and Oil, we like to say that our cooking is an electric Italian experience. So we do some home-style cooking, everything from making our own pasta from scratch, having a crudo bar, we do pizzas and Italian small plates. So I like to say it's a twist on, traditional Italian cooking techniques. We also have 16 wines on draft and some great craft cocktails as well. My other restaurant, Elm City Social, it's a new American menu. We're definitely cocktail focused with over 30 cocktails on the menu. But we do craft American bites and some plays on Southern cooking.
Can you tell me a little bit about how Restaurant Week is beneficial to the restaurant?
Yeah, absolutely. So Restaurant Week is obviously a very big thing in New Haven. A lot of restaurants get on board. A lot of billboards get put up on the highway and posters all over the city. And people do really get excited about it. I've already had several phone calls today, just started about an hour ago, and people are already asking what the menu items are, what the Price Fix menu is, when can they come down and enjoy it, how long it's going for. So it really does drum up a lot of interest in the city. People really do get on board. I think they have a lot of pride in New Haven. And, for people that haven't checked out Geronimo or any other restaurant in New Haven that's taking part in Restaurant Week, it really is an extra incentive for them to get on board and come down and give us a shot.
When we do the Restaurant Week menu, there's a couple things we think about. One, we want to make sure that it's, really good, tasty food, A lot of people are coming in from out of state or out of county, and we like to show off what we do here in New Haven. We're a great culinary city. Outside of that, we want to try to fit within the cost. It is 3 courses, Personally, we like to use local seasonal ingredients. We have some local butternut squash on this menu over here. And we want to make sure it's something that can come out quickly out of the kitchen. To have a full restaurant full of guests all getting appetizers, entrees, and desserts for the course of the week is certainly a challenging thing to do. But we have a lot of fun with it, and that's sort of part of the technique, is planning out how to make something really super delicious and execute it in a short period of time so people come in and can have a great experience at the restaurant.
What would you guys say that your most popular dish during Restaurant Week is?
This is my first Restaurant Week, so I can't really comment on previous year's Restaurant Week menu items, but I just started today, so we haven't found out yet which one is the most popular, but I feel like it's going to be the chicharron quesadilla that we have, which has mushrooms and chicharron and a flour tortilla with cheese and a couple other menu items.
Here at Olives and Oil, we definitely sell a lot of rigatoni bolognese. It's a classic home-style dish. My other restaurant, Elm City Social, I would say one of our more popular items is our chicken and waffles. Over there, I have a fancy fried chicken dish that we have on the menu that is confit chicken, deep fried and served with some pickled watermelon and sweet yams. Over here, we have a couple options, but we have a really nice seasonal butternut squash gnocchi dish that we're doing here with some Brussels sprouts, and walnut gremolata. So a lot of fun, exciting stuff on the menu this year.
See, I came in.
That sounds delicious. You can check more of AJ's video on Q30TV.com. If you always seem to find yourself running late in the morning, you have a good excuse to skip the shaving. No Shave November is in full swing, and people everywhere are sporting a little extra hair, all to support cancer awareness. Karina Cami hit the quad to hear what Bobcats had to say about it.
I'm doing it just because it's like a thing, and it goes to a good cause, I'm pretty sure, and I think it's going to turn out pretty well. I can see it coming in already.
I'm going to do it because I've been doing it since I was a freshman in high school playing hockey, and all the guys were just not shave, and so it'll turn out pretty well.
Doing No Shave November because it's good, because it shows that you're a healthy man because you could grow a beard, and it's cool to have a beard. I like having a beard. You don't have to.
I'm doing it because my dad's doing it, so we're doing it together. And I think I'm going to be really
This past Halloween night on the village basketball courts, Res Life had a bunch of graham crackers, chocolate, and marshmallows for the soft s'mores night. Of course, this event was free to students, so students showed up, some even in costume, to make s'mores, play games, and listen to music.
Still to come on Hashtag.
A weird news update from Hashtag's very own Sam McCleary.
Plus a Hashtag First, when producer Derek Rivas discusses his take on a new video game. Stay with us.
Tonight on Sandwich News, we will determine what makes a good sandwich and a bad sandwich. First, the standard sandwich. Uninspired and frankly, a little gross. But we have here a Ray and Mike sandwich, the Cadillac of sandwiches. And if you want one, well,
come on down to Ray and Mike's at 3030 Whitney Ave, Hamden, Connecticut. Open every day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. QCash is accepted.
Now that's a sandwich.
Do you like debate?
That's a converted relief pitcher making the start because it was a doubleheader. You got no hit by a relief pitcher. You can't tell me that's not embarrassing.
Analysis.
You can see his stance, his positioning right there is excellent.
And a side of entertainment.
Is he right or is he crazy?
Well, we all know the answer to that. He's a bit crazy, but I gotta say,
Then join us on Bobcat Breakdown.
From the court to the ice to here on the diamond, we'll discuss everything you need to know about Quinnipiac athletics.
Bobcat Breakdown, Tuesdays at 9:30.
From Hamden to Hollywood, we are your source for entertainment news.
Whether you're on the quad in your room or off campus, tune in to Q30 News for stories from student journalists who you can trust. We're covering the latest here on campus and in the surrounding communities. Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
Welcome back to Hashtag That.
Sam McCleary is standing by with your weird news update. Sam, what do you have for us?
Thank you guys so much for having me. So, there's like nothing there. There's nothing there. No.
Okay, coming.
Oh no. There.
Are you excited for Thanksgiving break?
Yes, I am.
What are you going to do?
I have mostly likely family. It's kind of awkward because I have a divorced parents, so you kind of got to switch between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your plans?
I have a bunch of appointments to make since I'm finally going home.
I don't go. I kind of just stay in. I'm a recluse with the kind of holiday stuff. Don't go shopping, no black. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're going to go back to Sam McCleary now, who has the weird news updates for us. Sam?
Hi guys, thanks so much for having me. So a Montana woman rescued a wandering llama from Yellowstone National Park last week. The llama ran off after its halter was loosened by guides, and Susie Holzmeyer-Sine came to the rescue. Apparently, this is not the first time Ike the llama has slipped out of his halter and escaped. According to Wilderness Ridge Trail Llama's owner, Kristen Bay, he's sneaky and he knows he can. Referring to the fact he has escaped before, Bay and her crew did find Ike, however, they decided to let his rescuer keep him instead of bringing him back. Ike is now as happy as can be at his new home. Who wants candy on Halloween when you can get a copy of the Constitution instead? Representative Mark Sanford gave out the Constitution to kids on Halloween instead of the traditional candy. I'm sure trick-or-treaters were in for a surprise when they stopped by his house on Wednesday, and not a good one. People on Twitter had much to say about how this treat would go over with the kids. Sarah Burris said, Sanford is lucky kids can't vote because the anti-candy platform would get him kicked right out of office, fast. And user Scott Bick said, can't you at least tape some Smarties to them or something? I mean, really, Sanford, you couldn't leave politics out of it for just one day? Guess not. You've heard of Spider-Man from the comics and movies, but did you ever think there would be one in real life? Well, there unfortunately still isn't, but a man named Alan Roberts did call himself French Spider-Man, and he was just recently arrested for scaling one of London's tallest buildings without any ropes or safety gear. Many spectators caught the event on video and were in shock when Roberts made it safely to the top. However, the City of London was not too happy about this act, and he was sentenced to 20 weeks in jail. Sorry, Elaine Roberts, but you're no Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, or Tobey Maguire. There are so many different kinds of sea creatures out there, but have you ever heard of a sea cucumber? Yeah, that's right, a sea cucumber. Don't worry, I didn't know they were a thing either. Well, apparently there is one that looks just like a headless chicken, and it has been caught on video in the deep sea near East Antarctica. This is apparently a surprising location for the creature to be spotted, and it was last filmed thousands of miles away near the Gulf of Mexico last year. One of the technicians that caught the creature on camera called it a chicken monster, and if you look at the image yourself, that is exactly what it looks like. Now, I can't help but wonder what other strange creatures there are out there that no one even knows about yet. Like, what if there is something called a land tomato or an air carrot? I mean, if a sea cucumber exists, the possibilities are truly endless.
Thanks, Sam.
There has definitely been some weird things going on this week.
And here now with a special look at the new video game is our very own Derek Rivas.
Howdy y'all, my name is Derek the Gunslinger Rivas, and today we'll be reviewing Red Dead Redemption 2, the sequel to the insanely popular 2010 video game Red Dead Redemption by Rockstar Games. Yeehaw! Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place in a fictional version of the United States western frontier. The game features 5 distinct countries brimming with highly detailed, versatile, and unique environments begging to have every inch explored. As a player, you'll traverse through alligator-infested swamps, snow-capped mountains, pinewood forests, rolling grasslands, and of course the iconic dry and ragged deserts of the Southwest. Because it's a turn of the century, you'll also see steam and electric-powered machines and inventions slowly creeping their way into classic western-themed towns. You can see this class especially with the weapons, items, and collectibles you can find, collect, and use throughout the game. The game also features the most expansive collection of wildlife to date in any video game. The in-game NPCs top the world of Red Dead off and truly create a fully immersive experience through their subtle interactions with the rest of the world and the player. The amount of detail the developers put in is unrivaled, so the grade for the world of Red Dead receives an A. The world of Red Dead Redemption 2 works so well only because of the gameplay. There are over 60 plus hours of content, but expect to spend well over 100 plus hours to truly take in and experience the full capabilities of the game. You can pretty much do anything as you ride, rob, and shoot your way across the game world. Play an assortment of mini-games, upgrading your character and gang, hunting, or starting a fight in Valentine's Saloon only breaches the surface of the total gameplay possible. And of course, I have to call attention to the insane level of detail put into firing and reloading guns. That same detail applies to every single action you can perform. The only downside is that in the game's attempt to make everything as realistic as possible, some of these highly specific actions like brewing coffee or searching chests for loot takes an incredibly long time to complete. As a result, the gameplay earns an A-. Rockstar did not hold back at all when it came to crafting the story and creating the characters you interact with. You play Arthur Morgan, a rugged but very capable outlaw who has spent his entire life running free from the law with a gang of like-minded thieves, conmen, and murderers. The story begins after a high-stakes robbery gone wrong, forcing the gang to escape into the mountains during a blizzard. The story follows the gang as they try to regain the money they lost while simultaneously trying to build a new life, away from the ever-growing presence of a modernized, uniformed society. Arthur does not think he's a hotshot gunslinger outlaw. Rather, he simply does not trust the suffocating and unfair philosophies pushed by society. It's only the addition of a cast of 23 supporting characters riddled with their own flaws and takes on mental illnesses and disenfranchised upbringings that subtly influence Arthur and by extension the player. I will say though that superb animations and voice acting help the story and characters resonate with you. That's why the story and characters earn a resounding A. From the compelling story and characters to the superb level of detail in the world, the game is without a doubt very fun. While the gameplay can drag and the first 20 hours of the game is admittedly very slow at times, the sheer amount of things to do in the game will more than certainly keep you busy. As a game developer myself, I can say Red Dead Redemption 2 earns a solid A.
Thanks, Derek. Still to come on Hashtag.
Dan West is here with your Hollywood news update.
Plus, Hashtag Take Semi. You saw a few weeks ago when Ashley Cotto asked Matt Fortin to the semi live on air. Stay tuned to see how that went, all down next Friday.
Let's get it going. Sports Ball starts right now.
We start tonight with some basketball coverage.
And here again, Aaron Robinson hits the shot of his life. I don't know what that celebration is, MJ, but I'm loving it.
Is that Fortnite?
Welcome back to Hashtag That. Here with our West Coast update is the man with the name and the plan, Dan West.
Dan, what's going on in Hollywood?
Thanks, guys. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan West, and this is Hollywood News Update. The internet has been buzzing throughout the weekend with what's hot in Hollywood, so let's jump right in. The Spice Girls are back. Almost. That is right, do not adjust your laptops or iPads unless it is to turn the volume up. The Spice Girls are reuniting for a tour that will take place in June 2019 with one caveat. Victoria Beckham will not be joining the crew. Beckham, aka Posh Spice, announced on Instagram, "Today marks a special day for the girls as they announced the first tour dates since they performed together in 2012. I won't be joining my girls on stage again, but being in the Spice Girls was a hugely important part of my life, and I wish them so much love and fun as they go out back onto the tour next year. I know they will put on an amazing show, and the fantastic fans, both past and present, are going to have a wonderful time. XVB, hashtag Spice Girls, hashtag Friendship Never Dies." The two-week tour is kicking off June 1st, 2019 in Manchester, then working its way exclusively through the UK and ending in London. Though some people have showed support and understanding, many others have been ripping Posh Spice apart. I'll show you an example of this later after I explain another update. But here's my question for you guys at the desk. Are you excited for the Spice Girls reunion? Do you think it will be as successful without Posh?
I frankly was never a fan of the Spice Girls, so I frankly don't care. But I can understand the frustration some people have, because whenever you have anything coming back together without one of its main parts, it just feels wrong. But I still kind of support the girl or the woman for making her decision.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like if any group is to come back together, people are always a little upset if you hear that like one person isn't going to be there, especially if it is your favorite person. Personally, "Wannabe" is my favorite song. I still jam it in the car, so I'm pretty excited.
I agree with both of you. I didn't grow up with the Spice Girls a lot, but I think it'll be a pretty good reunion without her. On to the next topic. Back on the East Coast, Alec Baldwin was arrested this past Friday for allegedly assaulting a man after arguing over a parking spot on 10th Street in Manhattan. The 49-year-old man had an injury to his left jaw from being punched, but is in stable condition. In true Trump fashion, 2 tweets later emerged on the Hilaria and Alec Baldwin Foundation Twitter stating, "Normally, I would not comment on something as egregiously misstated as today's story. However, the assertion that I punched anyone over a parking spot is false. I wanted to go on the record stating as much. I realize that it has become a sport to tag people with as many negative charges and defaming allegations as possible for the purpose of clickbait entertainment. Fortunately, no matter how reverberating the echoes, it doesn't make the statement true." Baldwin was released and seen later that day heading back to his Manhattan apartment. The NYPD has confirmed that Baldwin was charged with assault and harassment and will be given a desk appearance ticket for a later date. Because of this, Baldwin also did not appear as Trump on Saturday Night Live the following evening. Instead, Kate McKinnon opened the show as Laura Ingraham, and at the tail end of the segment wrapped up with, "When we come back, an update from disgraced former actor Alec Baldwin, seen here molesting a young Boy Scout," accompanied with a picture of Alec Baldwin in the Canteen Boy SNL sketch with Adam Sandler. A joke that I personally found in poor taste considering the myriad of other allegations plaguing most of Hollywood right now. But my question for the desk is, do you guys think Baldwin will be back on SNL soon? And how do you think they handled it considering they are great friends with Baldwin, most notably executive producer Lorne Michaels?
Given that Baldwin went on that big tirade a couple of years back on Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel, I don't think there's anything Baldwin could do that would get him kicked off SNL, especially with people being friends with him. That being said, it feels like this joke was friends ribbing on a friend with a really dark joke. However, to the rest of the audience, that doesn't really translate well, and it does kind of feel like they are taking one of their long-standing supporters, one of their long-standing actors, and just kicking him when he's down. So to the audience, I really think I do see this as being in poor taste, even if they were a bit detached from the situation, given their relationship. I
completely agree. I think that it was kind of uncalled for, and it adds another stigma to something that is already an issue and adds further debate and a lot of issues, in my opinion, truthfully. And staying in the realm of Saturday Night Live, touchy comments and new songs were the focus of this week's episode. Of course, between Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson. Ariana Grande decided to drop a new song just 30 minutes before this week's premiere of SNL. This comes after Ari subtweeted Davidson earlier last week in response to an SNL promo where Davidson proposed to musical guest Maggie Roberts. When Roberts turned him down, he looked at the camera and said, "Oh for 3. Grande quickly tweeted, "For someone who claims to hate relevancy, you sure love clinging to it, huh?" Followed by, "Thank you, next." Obviously, fans didn't realize what this was foreshadowing at the time, but the Twitterverse quickly blew up once they realized that she would be dropping a new song right before the SNL episode. Grande drew attention to the release throughout the day, tweeting, "I'm so freaking grateful for my ex. Thank you, next." The final tweet was accompanied by the song artwork, which is a collection of newspaper clippings from various tabloid sources, all entitled, "Thank You, Next." There's a rumor that Pete Davidson nixed a skit that he was going to perform during this episode. However, of course, during the Weekend Update, Davidson did take on a serious tone to address the public in saying, "I know some of you are curious about the breakup, but the truth is it's nobody's business. Sometimes things just don't work out, and that's okay. She's a wonderful, strong person, and I genuinely wish her all the happiness in the world. Now, please go vote on Tuesday, all right?" Although I think Davidson's promo comment was more of a chuckle-worthy burn on himself rather than Grande, I do think it was in poor taste considering the two agreed that they wouldn't talk about the breakup publicly. I think Grande was clever in using this issue and steering it to promote her in a single and following album, but I'm also biased because Ari is bae and her voice is beautiful. Taking a quick break to go back to that first update about Victoria Beckham not joining the Spice Girls, @Lewis Staples tweeted, "Victoria Beckham when she got the call about the Spice Girls reunion. Thank you, next." See, that was like totally worth the wait, right? Like it all makes sense now. And I know that this is my third update and I have to wrap up, but I did want to squeeze in one more important update slightly related to Grande. Over the weekend, the cause of Mac Miller's death was released. The coroner said that he died from a mixed drug toxicity. A combination of fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol were found in his system. It was ruled an accidental overdose as it was not the amount of drugs that killed him, but rather the combination of all three. I think this speaks a lot to the fact that we have no idea what people are going through and to always reach out and ask or offer help. Of course, Ari addresses Miller, aka Malcolm McCormick, in her new song, Thank You Next, by saying, "Even almost got married, and for Pete, I'm so thankful. Wish I could say thank you to Malcolm because he was an angel." A touching way for her to pay tribute to someone she so visibly loved. To keep things lighthearted, my questions for the desk are about Ari and the Davidson spat. Do you think his 0 for 3 comment was too far? Do you think any of them were being petty? And have you heard her new song?
I personally haven't heard her new song. I don't listen to music much at all, but I think Pete Davidson, it was like a gentle ribbing. It wasn't anything to be too upset about over. And a lot of these Hollywood couple things are very petty, so this is just par for the course.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like the comment, it was more, as like Dan said, a kind of a burn on himself. He was almost saying that he's proposed to that many people and isn't getting married still.
Exactly.
So I feel like it's just like, it was kind of for him, but at the same time, like, it is kind of a shot at Ari because, like, she was the last one, so I think it was a little petty.
I agree with both of you. I think that just neither of them should have talked about it publicly. And that is all for this week's Hollywood News Update. I'm Dan West. Back to Jensen and John at the desk.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Still to come, a little American history for Election Day.
Stay with us to see just how much our LA reporters remember from history class.
Welcome to the WQAQ Morning Show. Dan Ball and Emma Spagnolo joining you here from the QAQ studios in Hamden. And Emma, it is that time of year again.
History trivia. It's our LA reporters. Guys, let's see how well you paid attention in history class.
Hey everyone, it's Kayla here, and I am with Brooke and Hannah. Since today is Election Day, I'm going to be quizzing them on United States history to see how well they remember it from, like, middle school. When Columbus sailed from Spain on his epic journey, what did he expect to find? Florida, New England, America, or India? So Hannah has India as her answer. And Brooke, you have America. And I feel like you are regretting everything. So we will find out at the end what their scores are and who won overall. What was the reason that the Pilgrims left England and sailed for America? They were trying to conquer Canada. They were looking for gold in the New World. They were seeking freedom from their religion. They were trying to escape paying taxes to the king. All right, we have taxes and religion. So, what was the Stamp Act? A tax on stamps that the Pilgrims opposed, a tax imposed on the colonists by the British, which taxed almost everything made of paper, a law that said that all letters to England must have stamps, and a tax on stamp collections. Alright, so here, this is paper. Brooks is B, and none of them are even.
That's like B and paper were the same.
Yeah, tax imposed on colonists by the British, which taxed most everything made of paper?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
you
meant.
B, okay.
I know that it was with the colonists.
See, the thing is on here, it doesn't go A, B, C, and D. It's just, alright.
I'm just making it up as we go along.
In 1849, some people were swept up in the excitement of what is called the gold rush. In what state was gold found? California, Texas, Arizona, or Wyoming? Cali, baby.
ULA.
All right, we'll both say California. All right, so now I'm going to submit their answers that they said, and we will tally up who got the most right.
Oh no.
We've tallied up the points, we have the final results. And the winner is actually both of them.
Did we actually tie?
You honestly, you both tied with 8 points. You got 8 out of 10 right, so good for you both. There was like one that Hannah would get wrong, that Brooke would get right, and then there was one that Brooke got wrong that Hannah would get right. So somehow in the end it evened out. So I mean, I guess 8 out of 10, they both knew their American history.
We learned a lot in high school.
They honestly did better than I think I would have. So I'm glad I was the one asking the questions today. All right, but thank you guys for watching. Let's toss it back to you both at the desk.
Thank you guys.
Well, I think I could definitely use brushing up on my history.
Me too. And just a reminder, polls are open until 8 o'clock tonight. So if you haven't yet done it, go and vote.
Well, that's all the time we have this week on #that. But make sure you follow us on Twitter at Q30 Entertainment and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Thank you for watching, everyone, and see you next week. Good night, Quinnipiac.